Springtime on the prairies is often accompanied with sniffling, sneezing, and watery eyes, the classic symptoms of allergy season. But now add in the pandemic, and it has allergy sufferers wondering if those sniffles are not maybe something more. We're joined by Kelly Kizlyk. She's a pharmacist with MedSask. Kelly, what are allergy symptoms?
Well, Fiona, you pretty much nailed it with that intro. So the biggest symptoms that people mention to us are the sneezing symptoms, a runny nose, and it's kind of like clear, really runny, drippy kind of noses. Some folks have sinus congestion as well, so a stuffy nose, and itchy, gritty, watery eyes. Those kind of symptoms tend to be the ones that people come up with the most when we're talking about allergy symptoms.
So now, those have been getting confused with COVID symptoms. What are the differences between allergies and COVID-19?
It certainly is a tricky time for allergy sufferers because there is some overlap. So, some of those congestion symptoms are consistent with COVID-19 symptoms. And there are a couple of differences. So, with COVID-19, often what we're talking about is fever, chills, shortness of breath, and a cough. Often some muscle aches or pains, just generally feeling unwell. So some of those different symptoms are things like the fever, right? There isn't fever associated with allergies. The muscle aches, those full body aches, is often not associated with allergies. Sometimes people with COVID symptoms also have diarrhea or stomach upset, and that we wouldn't expect with allergies either. So there are some differences between allergy and COVID-19 symptoms.
So when should someone put down the allergy pills and go for a COVID swab?
Yeah, well, and I think with what's happening with COVID-19 in Saskatchewan, it's really important to note that sometimes we can't tell, right? And so there's no, get tested. If you're concerned, if you've had exposure, if there's any of those symptoms that you're wondering about, the only way to know for sure is to get tested. One of the things I'm talking to allergy folks about right now too, though, is if your medications aren't working, right? So a lot of people with allergies have expected them in the past. They've been through this with other spring seasons or other times of year. And so they kind of know what to expect, right? If the meds and the things that you usually do aren't working, that might be a trigger that this isn't quite allergies and what you would have experienced in the past. And like I said, those new symptoms. So if this is something brand new, you might also want to get tested for that too.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thanks for having me.
Kelly Kizlyk is a pharmacist with MedSask.